Hey friends, I just wanted to hop on here real quick. It's I don't know, about 9:45 at night. The sun's just gone down. I know it's still pretty light out, but the sun's just actually behind some clouds right at the horizon, so I'm not going to get any more sunshine pictures. But I did want to hop on, and I want to talk a little bit more in depth about kind of what my experience has been with the digital growth community. I know I've alluded to it in the past. I haven't talked in depth about kind of how this happened and what the process was, but I want to tell a little bit about my story of how this happened and how I came to be in the position I was in when I found this. So I've been a business owner for pretty well most of my adult life. I've had a few jobs here and there, but pretty well worked for myself most of my adult life. And there's been some great times and there's been some bad times. I've literally made and lost millions of dollars more than once. And sometimes because of bad choices, sometimes, always because of bad choices, but sometimes choosing the wrong business partners, choosing the wrong business model, going down a path that maybe, I probably shouldn't have gone down in hindsight, but it is all whatever it is, eh? And always in the past, through my whole life, I've been able to be very resilient. It's like things would fall apart and I'd lose my business and I'd just start something else and just start going again. And about 5 years ago or 4 years ago, just before COVID started, I had some partnership issues in my business, and that started kind of turning sideways on me. And then when COVID hit, it totally sunk our business. And for some reason, this time it was different. I didn't bounce back like I usually do. And I got myself into a situation where, with everything that was going on, with the government shutting everything down and our business going under, and just really struggling to make ends meet, and getting caught up in all of the political rhetoric and all of the division that happened between people in that whole process, and how people who loved and cared about each other turned on each other because they had different beliefs on what was going on and whether the government was telling the truth or not. And it's neither here nor there because it's all in the past now anyway, but I know we're still feeling the effects of it. But the bottom line is, we should have never turned on each other. We should have never really allowed ourselves to get sucked into that, but whatever, it happened. And the thing that happened with me is, I thought I was the only one who let it affect me the way that I did, because I basically retreated into myself. I stopped being an outgoing person and let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? A happy, optimistic person, like I always had been. And I started getting angry and frustrated with the government and some of the things that they were doing, and frustrated with, just with everything and all the hatred and anger that was going around. And I just got sucked up in it. And it started changing who I was. It started making me a very unhappy person. And I stopped working towards goals and dreams, and just kind of gave in and let myself get sucked into that, and started becoming a grumpy old man. I don't really know how else to put it. I grew a big old beard and hung out in my shop and just allowed myself to become a different person than I've always been my whole adult life. And so the reason I want to share this with you is because I want you to kind of hear where I was at, and so you understand more what this has done for me, because I've talked so much about this. I haven't talked much about the financial side of things, and it's just because I don't really think that's what it's about for people. I mean, I know a lot of people are looking for a financial boost in their life and stuff, but me saying, oh, I made this much money, blah, 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 it's like, to me, that doesn't do it. But it's like, but I've completely changed my life by being involved in the digital growth community, and now it's just going so many steps further than that. But the biggest thing is, when I got sent a webinar regarding digital growth community, I immediately decided that I was going to say no. just like I have to everything else over the past few years, because I just was a grumpy old man. I was working, renovating houses, and figured I was just going to work my fingers to the bone until the day I dropped over dead. And I really, literally gave into that, and that's part of what the anger and frustration was all about. I just couldn't see past that. And anyways, so I decided to sit on it for a week so I could at least pretend like I had had a look at it, and then I was getting ready to send a message saying, yeah, it's just not for me. Thanks so much for thinking of me. But I had a lot of respect for the person that sent it to me, and I stopped and thought, I better have a look at it, because I just didn't feel right outright lying about it and pretending that I had looked at it when I hadn't. And so I looked at it, and there was a little spark lit inside of me. It wasn't much. I mean, I was hoping that there was something there, but I was still pretty skeptical. And this was on a Wednesday, on the 1st of May. And I think that was a Wednesday. Anyway, so there was a live webinar that night, and I decided to get on there and watch it. And I asked Cindy if she'd come and watch it with me. She didn't want to, but then I had told her about one of the testimonials that had really impacted me. One of the people that had gone on there, and his story just really impacted me. And he came on again, and I was like, so I said, Cindy, come here, just come watch this one guy. And so she came and watched it, and ended up watching the rest of the webinar with me. And at the end of the webinar, she turned to me with big tears in her eyes, and she said, I know you can do this. And the hope that sparked inside of me completely changed my whole outlook immediately. I mean, I still had to work on it because I had been in that place for a long time, but I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. And I jumped in, and I started going hard at it. And I put a lot of time in those first few days to get all the background stuff set up. And I got to tell you, it was very intimidating. I knew nothing about this, and if it hadn't been laid out in such detail, the way the blueprint is laid out, there's no way I could have put this together. And that was one of the attractions to me, because I saw people that didn't have a lot of computer experience being able to put something together and completely change their lives financially, and that impressed me. I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I did, and I jumped in there and started doing it. And I've got to tell you, the thing that surprised me the most is when I was going through all that stuff and sitting in that anger and frustration and feeling and kind of giving up on hope for being able to change the future, I thought I was the only one that felt like that. I really did. I thought it was just me. I knew that it affected people financially in different ways and stuff, but I really thought that I was the only one that had let it really change inside. And as soon as I got on and started sharing some stuff, what amazed me is how many people started messaging me, or people who had my number were texting me, and they're like, what are you doing? What's this all about? And I started sharing it with it, and people started joining me on this journey. And what that's done for me is it's just completely changed my outlook on the whole thing, because initially I was just thinking, I gotta make some money. And what I'm finding out is if I help people, the money's just gonna show up. And what I found is that I have a message because of what I've been through that other people are relating to. There's a lot of people who are in that same boat. It's like where they're working away and not really seeing an end. They're not really seeing a way that they're going to be able to retire and have any kind of lifestyle that they had planned on. I mean, I certainly wasn't where I was thinking I was going to be at this point in my life at 62. And what I found in a very short period of time is I've completely been able to change that around, and I'm more excited than I've ever been about the future. And part of it is because I have a lot more wisdom because of the extra trials I've gone through since the last time I was making money and doing well in business. But the difference with this is it's a lot easier to do. And once you've got it all laid out and figure out how this works, a couple hours a day can really be all that you really need to put in to keep it rolling. It's like, but you've got to be consistent with it, and you got to put the effort into it, and sometimes you might need to do something that's uncomfortable. Now, just because I'm doing a video like this, don't think that this is the only way to do it. And if I would have thought that, I probably wouldn't have signed up, because it freaked me out thinking about doing videos and posting them and talking about stuff like this openly with who knew who was going to look at it? And really, I'm at a point right now where I could care less. If someone doesn't like it, they don't need to watch it. They don't need to listen to my story, and they might not relate to it anyways. But anybody that won't relate to it isn't going to be listening anymore anyway. So I jumped in and started going, and people started joining me on this journey, and my goals immediately started changing to not how much money can I make, but who else out there needs to hear this message? Who else out there can relate to what I've been through? And I felt like I now have a responsibility to share this message, because those people that are out there that feel like they don't have a lot of options need to hear my story and need to understand that there is some options out there, regardless of how frustrated you are, regardless of how angry you might be about everything that's happened in your life. It's like you can put those things aside and you can start working towards changing that. And I've got to tell you, you have a story that people need to hear. There's things that you've been through, and there's people out there that desperately need some answers and need some options in their life. And the story that you have created by living the life that you've lived is going to be something that they need to hear. And if you don't tell that story, they might not be able to break out of where they're at. So don't cut other people short by thinking that you have nothing to share, because you do. You're of value. You have something to share. Each one of us is exactly where we're supposed to be at this point in life. And I would have got so angry if somebody would have told me that here a couple of months ago, because I would have thought, oh, I would have never chose this, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, hang on, my papers are blowing all over. Sorry, can't afford to lose those papers, but I would have got angry about it. I would have got frustrated that you were telling me that I was right where I was supposed to be, because I didn't like where I was. But at the same time, it's like I was where I needed to be, so that when I heard this message, I was ready to hear it. And anyway, so being involved in digital growth community started really changing my mindset. And that is way more valuable than the financial gains that we've got from it. And I know that's hard for people to get your head wrapped around when you're in there and you're running out of money before you get to the end of the month, and the money always runs out first, and you're not knowing how you're going to take care of things and stuff. I mean, I know what that's like. But I got to tell you, it's like when you start focusing on changing your mindset, you change your entire life. Because what's blowing me away is all the other stuff that started happening when I changed my mindset. It's not just the financial gains that I've got through digital growth community, but other opportunities have opened up and other ways of creating income, and I've made connections with people, and who knows where some of those connections are going to go. But it's like I would have never done that if I hadn't been working on the mindset. And a couple of weeks ago, I got introduced to a mindset coach, and again, it's just completely changed my life that much more again just in the last couple of weeks, because it's taken that mindset thing so much further, and I've started realizing how powerful that really is. So anyways, what I just wanted to get this information out there. I know I've gone on way longer than I planned on. If you're still here listening to me, thanks for putting up with me going on for so long. But if any of this resonates with you, just type I'm ready in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, send me a private message. But if you just want to type I'm ready, I'll send you some information, whether it's just the mindset stuff you're interested in. My mindset coach has a 7-day free mentoring program that is absolutely life-changing. There's no risk. It's free. All you got to do is put some time in and be willing to kind of dive into it and do a little bit of work on yourself. And the only thing that can hurt is, well, it can't hurt you. The only thing that could happen is it might lift your spirits a little bit, might help you get a little happier, a little bit of hope for the future. So if you're interested in changing anything, go look at the mindset course and sign up for that free 7-day program, because it's amazing. And I'll send it to you, but you got to send me a message, or you got to type something in in the comments. I'm not just going to post it unless somebody's interested in it. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. If you did, if you just scrolled on by, well, I guess you missed out, or maybe you don't relate to me anyway. And the whole thing is, I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to relate to my message, and that's totally okay. Because maybe somebody that I share this message with has a story that you can resonate with, and that's just the way it works, and I understand that. And it doesn't matter to me at all if somebody doesn't want to be involved in what I'm doing, whether it's mindset or digital growth community. But if anything I've said resonates with you at all, type something in the chat. Type "I'm ready," send me a message, whatever. Let me know, and I'll send you some information, because this is completely life-altering stuff, and if you let it be. So have a great night, everybody. I'm going to have this posted at the top of my feed for a while. I really want people that know me to hear this. If you don't like it and then it bothers you that I posted something like this, feel free to unfollow me. It's totally okay. I'm not going to be hurt by that or anything. I know this just won't resonate with some people, and that's okay. So if it does resonate with you, post something in the chat. Have a great night, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. July is before us. Monday starts a brand new month. Be ready. It can be life-changing if you're ready to let it. And if you're interested in doing some work with me, I've got room for about 15 people a month I can work with. I find that if I try and do more than that, I'm not going to be able to effectively help people, because it just spreads me too thin. And if you're ready to lock arms and really make some changes, I'm here for you. I'll help you out in any way I can. I'll share everything I've learned with you, and I'll help you pass those roadblocks that are holding you back right now. And if you're having a hard time getting a hold of some hope, I can hold that hope for you until you can actually believe in it yourself. Have a great night. I sure care about you guys a lot. I'm grateful for my interactions with all of you. Thank you, everybody, for all of the support over the past few years, especially when I was in the dark place and it wasn't really all that friendly, and I still had a lot of people that reached out and cared about me and helped me when I was down. And I just want to do the same for anybody else that I can. Again, have a great night. Enjoy the last day of June and get ready for July, because it's going to be an amazing one. See ya.